All right. Welcome. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to speak, and not just speak normally, speak exceptionally. I've had this YouTube channel for about 2 months, and out of all the questions I get, how to speak is probably the most asked question. Tom, how do you speak so well? Tom, how can I speak like you? Tom, how are you able to fucking speak for so long without fucking up? Tom, I want to learn to speak. Hence why I'm making this video. So, this isn't going to be any editing, just fucking pay attention, okay? I'm going to lay some sauce in this for free, okay? Right, so before I tell you exactly how to speak better, there are some things you should know beforehand. And one of those things is why you should be even considering getting better at speaking in the first place. If you've never seen me before, and the first time you're watching me is me making a video about how to fucking orate, you're probably wondering why. Now, I can name countless examples, but the one I want to give is the most impactful. You need to view life as nothing more than domains. And by domains, I mean sections of the world that you can walk into and master. I'll give you an example. I'm a golfer. So a good domain for me would be walking onto a golf course, okay? If you're a bartender, the domain for you would be behind the bar. If you're a pianist, the domain for you would be sat behind the piano. If you're a porn star, the domain for you would be between some girls' legs. The fact of the matter is that the world is made up of domains, okay? And your competence and competence will depend on the domain you're in at the time. So for example, we're sat on camera. So my domain at the moment is in front of a camera. I'm quite comfortable in this domain. But if you told me to fucking strap myself to a cliff and go abseiling, I'd fucking shit myself, right? Because that's not my domain, okay? People that go abseiling, they're great at it. That's their domain. So as you start to view the world differently, and you start to view the world through different domains, and this is a domain, and he's good at that because he's in his domain, and everything's just different domains, you start to understand how you get good at things. Now, the reason that speaking is so important, and being able to communicate on a whole is important, is because speaking is the biggest domain in the world. Name a scenario that isn't just people speaking to one another. Or better yet, name a scenario or a domain that isn't bigger than people just speaking to one another. Please understand, the entire world is just communication. Okay, you can extrapolate all day, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, the whole world is just people fucking speaking to one another and getting their points across and communicating. And that makes speaking and communication on the whole the biggest domain in the world. There isn't a domain on the planet which isn't somehow tied into speaking, making it the biggest domain in the world. And so I thought to myself, okay, well, I'm good at golf, brilliant. But after I'm off the golf course, I'm kind of shit at everything. I'm not good at anything. Yeah, sure. I'll take you to the golf course and I'll whoop your ass at basically anything for the next 4 hours. But we step off the golf course, I put on some normal shoes and I take my glove off. I'm pretty useless, right? And I started thinking to myself, okay, what's the biggest area of life that if I mastered would give me the most competence and competence no matter what? And what you start to realize is that it's basically just being able to articulate yourself and being able to speak better than everyone else. Because, like I said, everything is speaking. You speaking to your boss is speaking. You chatting to that girl is speaking. You arguing your points is speaking. You trying to convince someone to do something is speaking. You texting, you having a Twitter beef, speaking. You got to think about the things you're going to say, articulation. You got to be able to conduct words properly and get your points across better than someone else to win an argument. That's speaking. You go to a car dealership and you're trying to negotiate a price. Speaking. You're fucking a girl in bed. She's getting wet when I whisper in her ear. She ain't getting wet when you whisper in her ear because you don't have to fucking speak properly. You're saying the wrong shit. You're stumbling over your words. You ain't using the right words. It's all speaking. It's all fucking communication, which makes it the biggest domain in the world. So why wouldn't you take it upon yourself to master that domain? Because if you master that, you're walking on water through most of life. My life has become a lot easier and a lot better since I've learned how to fucking speak properly. That's not just money. Okay, I've made a lot of money because I learned how to speak. Now, whether that's negotiating deals, convincing people to listen to me, why do you watch me? Is it because I don't know how to speak, or is it because sometimes I say shit and you go, holy fucking shit. Yeah, this guy gets it. Okay, so it's made me a lot of money, it's changed my life in numerous ways, it's improved my relationships, it's got my way numerous fucking times. And the best thing about this is you can learn this for free. This isn't some fucking, webinar or some fucking, seminar you need to go to and spend thousands of dollars, or a piece of technology you need to plug into your brain to learn how to do it. It can be done very, very, very cheaply, okay? I would know because I learned for free. So now you know why it's important, because it's basically the biggest domain in the world, and you know that the world is full of domains, so if you're gonna fucking master one, may as well master the biggest one, because it literally pokes its fingers in every single cake on earth. Okay, you're gonna have to do something today. I don't know what. Maybe you have work. Maybe you have a date. I guarantee if you learn to speak better, in fact, I'm not even guaranteeing, I am absolutely positive, if you learn to speak better, the scenario would go along smoother and you would have a better interaction because of it, okay? And the reason for that is because 99% of people are fucking awful at speaking. Look at most YouTubers. I'm an exception. Look at most YouTubers, and I can tell you from first-hand experience, they have scripted every T, dot, I, comma, sentence, paragraph, page, completely from head to toe. They don't know how to speak. They need to completely script out everything they say. Better yet, go to a random fucking park. Go on a date with a girl. Dates are awful, man. Dates are fucking painful for me. Some girl, she's trying to get a point across, say anything, and they can't speak. Most people are completely inept at speaking. What the fuck are you saying? Most people literally cannot speak. Now, that's not to say they can't communicate enough to get by in life, but on the whole, they're fucking awful at communicating. And the reason for that is because you were never taught to speak. You learn from your parents, and then you get to a certain premise, a certain skill level, which is good enough to fit in with society. And beyond that, you don't really need to learn any better. And so you're stuck at this level of communication, which is all right to get by. Like, you're not going to be an idiot. Like, people are going to understand you. But certainly not enough to relish or thrive in the world. And that's why so many people are shit, because you learn for 15 years, you learn to build sentences and spell and do grammar and all this crap and maybe crack a couple of jokes. You turn 15, 16 years old, bang. Your capacity to speak is good enough to fit in with society, so why the fuck else would you need to learn to speak? So people just stop. You're older than me. Some of you are fucking older than me. I'm way better at speaking than you. How is that? You've been speaking way longer than I have. How? That doesn't make any sense. It's because when you turned 15, you stopped learning to speak. You could speak enough. Okay, your speaking skills are good enough to communicate with everyone around you, and your level of oration is good enough to get your points across, for the most part. Maybe to bang a 4 on a date, or sometimes get a promotion. But I thought, fuck that. No, I want to be really good at speaking. So I didn't stop at 15 or 16 or 17 or 20 or 21. I kept trying to get better at speaking. Now, the way you do that is through a few methods, okay, which I've used myself. You can use these if you want. I'm telling you right fucking now, if you want to learn to speak, you've come to me to learn, and I'm going to teach you how I learned, so just fucking learn from me, okay? Firstly, adhere to principles I talk about when I practice. If you haven't watched my video on how to practice, go fucking watch it, okay? You don't need to watch it now, but open a tab, click it, open it up, and get it ready to watch after this one, because it's fucking important. Secondly, after you've learned how to practice, because that's extremely important, everything I say from here on out is complete bollocks if you don't know how to learn to do things. If you learn to do things, everything will become easier. Again, another domain. Yeah, I'm fucking good at that too, so learn that. After you've done that, there's numerous methods you can use to increase the capacity at which you're able to speak. One is vocabulary. I say words you don't know. I know that for a fact. And I know that not only because I can assume it, but because people in my day-to-day life tell me, what the fuck does that mean? You say words I don't understand. I was on a date 2 weeks ago. Some feminist, awful. Never fucking seeing her again. She was like, oh yeah, I can tell that, you know, you did good in English in GCSE because you've said some words I don't understand. I was like, well, yeah, obviously, but like, so many people have shit vocabularies. You'll use the same 1,000 to 2,000 words again and again and again for your whole fucking life. In fact, I think that's a study. I think if to become fluent in a language, you only need to learn about 1,000 of the most common words in that language to be considered fluent. Okay, so 1,000 words is considered fluent. I'm pretty sure there's 20,000 words in the English literature. Sorry, English language. 20,000, you know what, 10%, 1% almost, like literally nothing. So the first way you're gonna be able to speak better is by expanding your vocabulary, because if you expand your vocabulary, you can use words to get your points across easier instead of stuttering and and umming when you wanna make a point. Now, the way I increased my vocabulary was listening to podcasts. Okay, so I double whammied this. When I was learning to be a copywriter, I didn't just learn how to be a copywriter. I was listening to people that were speaking all day, every day. I wasn't listening to rap lyrics or any of that bollocks. I was listening to people speak using good words. And whenever I would see a word or hear a word I didn't know, I'll just put my fucking hands up. I would just Google it. What the fuck does that mean? Fraternize. Fucking ostentatious. What the fuck do these words mean? So I would just Google them. So you come up with a word, you write it down, you Google it, and then you make a deliberate effort, like I say in my practice video, you make a deliberate effort to try and use that word in your day-to-day life. So all our favorite words, my friends will say this all the time. They'll say, oh, you've got a new word. Like, yeah, like I'll start saying random fucking words all the time. Like way more than I need to. Like cohesion. Or coercive, or some bollocks. I don't need to say it, but I'll deliberately make the effort to intertwine it to my sentences. So listen to podcasts. I've made a video on podcasts you should listen to that A, help you get better at copy, but B, they're spoken by some really good and intelligent people that know how to speak. So you can nick words from them. But on the whole, listen to podcasts in general. Okay, it's gonna show you words which you didn't fucking know. You don't have to be like Eminem. I'm not saying read the fucking dictionary, that's gay. Just listen to podcasts. Whenever you come up with a word which you don't know, be humble. I don't know what some words mean. Good. Who gives a fuck? Just write it down, Google it, okay? Get good at it. I guarantee when someone asks you, oh, how do you know that word? They're not gonna think, oh, you fucking listened to it on a podcast and wrote it down like an autist. No, it's just, obviously I know it. Like, oh, I'm just better at speaking than you, dickhead. That's how, okay? That's number one. Increase your vocabulary. Super important. You don't know shit, okay? Secondly, it's one thing being able to know loads of words as it is being able to put them in sentences and concisely, fluently speak them. Now, again, this is kind of a coincidence because I decided to pick this industry, but the way you are going to be able to get better at speaking is by putting sentences together. And the way you're going to get better at putting sentences together is by writing. Now, I've been writing for 14 months, right? So not that long. Everything by the way, a year ago I couldn't speak for shit. So I've been writing for 14 months. Now, as you write more, you will slowly become better at building sentences. And as you become better at building sentences, you'll become better at speaking. So you need to write more. If you're watching me, you're a copywriter. Good. That's why I say write every day. Not just for the skill, but the skill within the skill, which is learning to formulate sentences. Because what you will subconsciously realize is that as you build more sentences, you'll see them in your head. And as you see them in your head, you don't need to think of what to say because it's already there, it's prepped, it's ready. As I'm speaking, I have 3, 4, 5 sentences lined up in my head that I'm just ready to pluck out and speak. Bang, speak that, bang, new sentence is coming, it's coming, it's coming. And as I fucking speak, another one's coming in, another one's being reloaded. And the way I'm able to do that is because all I fucking do is write. And because I write, I know how to build sentences, which is a skill in itself, okay? So you need to write more. I suggest if you want to learn to write, become a copywriter. It's the best fucking way. You can write novels if you want to fucking talk about some bullshit, but if you want to learn how to A, make money, and B, learn how to write good cohesive sentences, learn to be a copywriter. It's never, ever, ever gonna hurt, okay? I have people, friends in businesses and industries that have nothing to do with writing. They all learn copy, or they all come to me and ask me, can I teach them a bit of copy? Because if you're able to just write well, that'll allow you to speak well. And if you're able to speak well, you're able to communicate well. And if you're able to write well, you can sell better, you can write better websites, you can do everything. It all comes down to being good at writing. If you can get good at writing, you'll be able to build better sentences, which would extrapolate to your entire fucking life, which will make you better in every single domain, especially speaking. So, learn to write. When you learn to write, you'll get better at building sentences. When you get better at building sentences, you'll be able to speak better. okay? Because you will know how to get your points across in a formulated way. None of this, but like, you know when, like, so what, none of that, okay? You can't say that on a page. You can't go on a page. It doesn't make any sense. You'll be saying sentences that make sense because you write them. And because you write so fucking many of them, eventually your subconscious will take over, and if you practice the way I teach you, swear to fucking God, you better open that tab. You practice the way I teach you, you will be able to speak better, okay? That's number 2. So number 1 is increase your vocabulary. Super fucking important, write that down. Number 2, after you've increased your vocabulary, start writing more. Use words, I'd do this, use fucking words you've just learned, okay? But on the whole, the more you write, the better you'll become at speaking, because you'll be able to construct sentences better, okay? By the way, no plan for this video, okay? So I'm telling you how good you can fucking get at this. I literally decided, you know what, it's a sunny day. Let me just sit the fuck down and make this, okay? Shit, lost one. Right. Number 3. After you've increased your vocabulary and you've started to write, you're gonna have to start practicing. Get my son out, phone out, the fucking sun's gonna fucking overheat. You're gonna have to start practicing. Now, the way I did that, you're looking at it, okay? I just started speaking on camera. Now, again, I swear, this is so important. Go and watch my practice video. This is all gonna make sense. I started speaking on camera. Now, when I started, my business partner, Max, who's already been a YouTuber for like 2.5 years, he knows this game inside out, said, right, let me know when you wanna get an editor. Basically, so that, you know, when you inevitably fuck up your sentences and inevitably say the wrong thing or inevitably have brain fog or inevitably don't know what to say, he can just edit it out like it never happened. Like literally every single YouTuber who does this game. And I thought then, I said, you know what, mate? No, I'm not gonna have an editor. Now, I have an editor to fucking put a PowerPoint together with a video, but you can go through every single video I have on my channel. There isn't a single cut, not one, ever, okay? I said that to him and I said, no, you know what? I'm just gonna freeball it. And yeah, to begin with, you can check out my first video. I was all right, but I wasn't as smooth as I am now. I can speak forever. If I've got enough liquid in my body and I don't need to go for a shit, I'll just speak, okay? If my tongue works, which it does, I'll fucking speak, okay? So you need to practice, and the way you need to practice is hard practice. Now, speaking on camera without any cuts or takes or any of that bollocks isn't easy. That's why no one else does it. That's why I'm probably the only fucking YouTuber you follow. I'm not a YouTuber, I'm a copywriter. I'm the only person that makes content you follow that doesn't have any cuts or takes. Let alone in the copywriting space. You go through any of my competitors, I guarantee within 3 seconds, they're instantly fucking cutting some shit out, or they've got some gay autistic fucking animation, etc., etc. Like, they can't speak because they need the editing to lean on. And I thought, fuck that. I'm just gonna get really good at speaking, and no way to get better at it, like anything, than to do it as hard as possible. So, some of you won't do this, that's fine, but for those of you that do, I recommend you fucking listen. You don't need to use a camera like I have, you can use your phone. Get a camera, hit record, and just speak. Okay, the first couple of videos are gonna be shit, that's fine. But you need to be comfortable, like I said, in this domain on camera, speaking with no safety net. I can speak for an hour and a half, and at an hour and a half, I'm like, if I fuck up now, I'm gonna have to repeat the entire video, but I don't because I'm good. You are just gonna have to sit there and speak on camera. Speak, formulate your ideas, use words you've learned from tip 1. Once you've learned words from tip 1 and you started writing and learn how to build sentences with tip 2, you're gonna put them into practice with tip 3 and speak on camera. And the key is to have 0 cuts and 0 takes. And yeah, sometimes, because it happened to me, okay, videos that will probably never see the internet, it happened to me. Well, I would just speak and then forget what to fucking say and sit there like a dumbass for fucking 20 seconds straight thinking, what do I say, what do I say, what do I say, what do I say? Just like a mute. Camera's still rolling, I just don't know what to say, right? So it happens. Now, that's okay, it's gonna happen. That's normal. But what will happen is, as you do this more, like I said in the practice video, and you refuse to give up and you do the repetitions, and you build a lot of stress, you'll get better at it. Okay, and it doesn't take that long, all right? And the reason I say to hop on camera is because it doesn't get much harder than this. Speaking to someone, I think the only thing harder than this would be public speaking. But speaking to someone in a conversation or having a date or something is nothing. That's fuck all compared to speaking on a camera that's going to go out to thousands of people. It's difficult, especially with no cuts or takes, right? You're speaking to someone that most conversations, you at least get 50% input from their end. You're speaking to a camera, it's all you. Like, I'm engaging you myself alone. Without me, if I only spoke 50% of the time, there'd be a lot of fucking gaps, right? So it's as hard as it gets when it comes to learning, which is good, because if you are able to master this, you will be able to speak in any scenario. I'm telling you, man, I went on a date a couple of days ago and she literally said to me, I'm blushing. I was like, why? She said, because you're really good at speaking. Yeah. I can make you feel things. I can make you imagine things. I can formulate sentences and get my ideas across better than any other dude you've ever spoken to in your life. And women fall in love with what they hear. So if you can master that, you're going to be fucking good, right? But it's not only that. If I have a conversation with my business partner, I can articulate my ideas better than he can. Now, he's getting better, but if I speak to a fucking stranger, anything I want to say to them, any argument I have, any point I think is better than theirs, they're fucked. They have no chance at all. What color's the sky? Blue. Someone came to me and said, the sky's fucking pink. Sorry, if I said the sky's fucking pink, and they said, no, it's blue, but I'm better at speaking than them, eventually, it may take a couple of hours, I will wear them down, and eventually, I don't care what bollocks I pull out of my fucking ass, I will convince them, even if it's not 100%, I will convince them. To a degree, on some days, maybe the sky is pink. And the reason it's pink is because of the smog in London. And so when there's a sunset, it illuminates the sky pink. The sky is fucking pink. I'm right, okay? The point is that you will be able to decimate anyone in any articulation battle. And that's the easy part. But the hard part is practicing it. And the best way to practice is on fucking camera. So get it, what the fuck? So the best way to do that is to get on camera because it's the hardest way. And if you can master the hardest way, everything else will become easier. Okay? And then from there, it's just repetition, repetition, repetition. I've been doing this YouTube thing for 2 months. I started in February and I've made 15 videos. Some of them are longer than feature films. I'll sit there and speak for 2.5 hours straight, no cuts, no takes. And yeah, before I did that video, I was like, fuck. Okay, time to test your resolve. Can I do that? I mean, probably, but I'm about to find out. Luckily, I pulled it off first time. But now that when I speak, like I can speak for fucking 4 hours now, because now I think, well, if I can do it for 2.5, and that wasn't that hard, I could probably speak for 4, 5, 6, fucking 7, 8, 9 hours. I don't give a fuck. Because I don't even need to think about it now. I can just sit here and speak to you. Every single sentence I need is just loaded up. It's come in. Before I even fucking think about what I'm going to say, it's loaded up. And that comes through A, knowing a lot of fucking words, B, knowing how to build sentences, and C, relentless amounts of practice in the hardest way, which is on camera. And you do that enough, and you don't plateau. Like my first video was 25 minutes, and then I made a video that was 2 hours, and then a video that was 2.5 hours, and you keep pushing yourself, and you keep trying to get better, you'll get better at speaking. Okay, now there's other things like tonality and pauses, and I'm not going to go into all that bollocks. You can just learn that by proxy. That will come naturally. Like, you know, when I pause or when I, you know, say something and I long it out or I change my tone in a certain way, that's fine. That will come naturally. But the bare bones and the basics is knowing words so that you have a load of artillery, building sentences so that you know how to construct those words correctly, and then putting it into action the hardest way possible, which is on a fucking camera, speaking to no one but yourself. Because when you go into the real world and you realize all these retards don't know how to speak, you are literally going to be a master in that domain. And what did I say at the beginning? There is nothing more to this life than just communicating and speaking, which makes it the biggest domain in the world, which means that any scenario I am in, doesn't matter where life takes me. It could be fucking negotiating some Uzbek to try and get into the fucking country, or I could be stuck in some border, or I could be held at gunpoint. If I'm able to speak well, I'm able to get my points across, I'm able to convince people to do things, I'm gonna be better off, and so are you. So it's the absolutely most important thing you need to learn. Learn to speak. I'd say it's a borderline superpower. I've gotten away with some shit that I just didn't think I'd get away with. Because I could just speak. I could just get my points across and I could convince people to align their thinking with my thinking. Okay, but it's going to take practice, okay? Now, another thing that comes with speaking, which in itself isn't even, it's just another byproduct. There's so many fucking byproducts of being able to do this. It's crazy. Another byproduct of that is that if you're able to speak, you're showing expertise. And you're showing expertise in the largest domain in the world, which means that people will immediately assume that you are a high caliber or at least a very competent individual. So, I'll give you an example. I went to dinner 7 months ago, and by this point I wasn't making that much money. I was doing all right, but I wasn't making crazy money. And I went to dinner with these guys. I think I've spoken about this. I went to dinner with these guys, and I was sat at the dinner table, and the guy in front of me was making 25 grand. The guy to the right of me was 18. He was making 50 grand a month. And the guy to the left of me was making 80. So he was a millionaire. And I'm sat there making like 5, right? I'm completely broke. But they didn't know that. And the only way I was able to hold my own in that entire interaction was because I was the best at speaking. Okay, now I still wasn't that good, and I'm nowhere near as good as I was now, but I was still writing, okay? I'd implemented tool 1 and tool 2, which was learn loads of words and be able to build sentences. I hadn't done much practice like I have here, but I was still able to speak pretty well. And because I was able to speak well, they viewed me as a competent individual. You can be the richest man in the room. You can have the hottest girlfriend in the world. You can have the most jewelry and the biggest bank account and the most accolades and the coolest stories and the biggest life. But if you can't speak, you're a dummy. You're a fucking retard. I don't care what it is that you're good at. If you can't tell me about it and you can't get it across to me in a compendious manner, who gives a fuck? Okay, no one cares. I came along, and yeah, I may not have many accolades to my name, but I can fucking sit there and I will battle you in the warfare of words better than you can, and I'll just fucking school you. That's showing expertise and that's showing competence. And yeah, he may have $1 billion, but when he speaks to me, he feels like a dummy. And that gains respect. And so you don't have to be that rich, you don't have to be that powerful, but if you can speak 9 out of 10 times, you're gonna make the person you're speaking to feel inferior. And if they feel inferior, a lot of the time, they're gonna gain respect for you because you can do something they can't. And that's how I networked. I'd just speak to people that were worth way more money than me, but because I could just decimate them, not in a malicious way, but certainly in a way they could comprehend, because I was able to just decimate them, I'd just fuck them up. And they gained respect from me for that. So learning to speak will take you into all manners of life, which will help you a lot, I'm telling you, man, you can be a millionaire, you speak to me, you're going to be like, fucking hell, I felt like a dummy speaking to him. It's like, yeah, I can speak for fucking 25 minutes straight and give you every angle and every different disposition on a single point and make you believe how I think completely. And you'll speak and, I don't know, fucking fumble over your words and say and 3 or 4 times. Like, I don't give a fuck how much money you have. You look like an idiot. If someone walked past right now and they listened to our conversation, they think I'm the fucking millionaire. Because I'm really competent. Am I? No, I've got fucking 300 quid in my bank, but I can speak well. I can project myself better to the world. And that shows people competence. And if you show competence, people assume you're confident. And they want to be around confident people. This is how it links into networking and everything. I'm telling you, learn to speak, communicate, learn to be good at getting your points across. Because it will take you to so many realms of life. And you'll have the upper hand. You don't need to be a millionaire. There's some fucking dorks that make millions of dollars. They can't chat shit. Like, they'll feel inferior to me. They'll have fucking 9 figures in their bank. On paper, they're better than me. On paper, they may be able to lift more than me. But in a day-to-day situation, they're fucked. And what did it take? What? Learning some new words, building some sentences, and practicing on a camera when no one's a fucking around in the sun. No one's gonna fucking, I mean, you're gonna see this, obviously, but no one's gonna fucking see it when you do it, so who gives a fuck? Now, a lot of you won't do this because, it's embarrassing or whatever, but I'm telling you, man, speaking has made me fucking 6 figures this year already. And It's only gonna make me more money, and it will make you loads and loads of fucking money if you learn to do it. Not even just monetary, like every area of your life will improve. Learn to speak. It will increase the number in your bank account. It will increase the dates in your phone. It will increase the millionaires in your phone book. It will increase everything. Because at a base level, people respect the ability to communicate, because most people are shit at it. It's, you know, sometimes you'll see someone that's good at driving, or you'll see someone that's good at football, or you'll see someone that's really strong, or someone that's really good with girls, or someone that makes loads of money. It's very rare you come across someone that's fucking impeccable at speaking. And because it's rare, it holds value. And because it holds value, you respect it. Which is why people respect people that can speak. And people respect me, even though I ain't shit sometimes. Now, I'm shit now, but it was only because I was able to get in the influence of people that were already shit. So go over this a couple of times, okay? There's principles in there which you can take to the fucking grave and you can start implementing today. Like, I'll give you tasks, man. Right, fucking listen to a podcast. Write down 5 words you don't know. Tomorrow, in your day-to-day life, try and use those words in sentences. You don't have to, but fucking try, all right? It's gonna be difficult, but fuck it. Just think of a way. How can I say this in this way? How can I use this word in my sentence to not sound like a dickhead and actually make sense? And once you do that, get on camera. Get on camera and just start speaking. Okay, you don't have to speak like me. You fucking wish. You don't have to speak like me, but just speak in a way that is not dumb. Be able to speak for minutes, if not hours on end, in your particular tone and your particular way, without stuttering and without fucking up, without any edits. You need to make a vow to yourself. If you're gonna do content and you're gonna start speaking on camera, you are never, ever, ever gonna have cuts and takes. Because that's gonna pressure you to fucking perform. If I knew that I could cut and take out parts of this and, you know, be able to just have recoils and fucking second chances, I'd probably not be as good at speaking. And you know what? I probably wouldn't even give a fuck as much. But it's because I know this is one take, and I've been speaking for what, fucking 35 minutes now? Without any take, if I fuck up, we're fucked, right? I have to start again. But if I had an edit in place and I could just say, oh, I'll cut that bit out, you're gonna be shit, okay? So no cuts, no takes. It's hard, but that's how it's gotta be. That's how you're gonna be better than other people. And once you do that, you'll become better at speaking. And once you're able to speak better, you'll make more money, meet more influential people, go on better dates, conduct yourself properly, and ultimately master the ultimate and most overarching domain in the world, which is communication. And your life will become a lot fucking better. Right. If that helped, subscribe. If it really helped, like the video. If it didn't, dislike it. But yeah, get after it.